Hey, what's up YouTube? So today we have a big development. If you look down here at the ES pool, it's 4,600 now. Now I think yesterday during the video I had like 3,900 and I kind of went over some of the ways that I would try to increase the ES more. We're finally able to do it. This is a respectable number. A lot of people make fun of me because I don't have 4K ES, and 4K ES seems to be some magical barrier, but 4.6K does feel a lot better. Have some more XP now, 20%. Gonna try to level up tomorrow to 99 and eventually get to 100, so I won't need to worry so much about dying, and then I can drop all the ES and go back down to 3K. Just kidding, of course, because dying actually sucks in the game and it takes a while to turn on all your auras. Unless you use the weapon swap trick, which I hope everyone knows by now, because it's actually pretty fast and game changing if you die a lot. But basically, the self chill build is better than ever. It's getting stronger, and we found out today that chill actually caps out at 30%. But for some reason, 30% action speed increase with the increased effect of non damaging ailments feels a lot faster than 30% action speed. So, not really sure what is going on there. I don't know if it's a bug in that when you reflect this chill, it bypasses the 30% cap, and I don't know if the 30% cap gets scaled by all of this effect. But what I do know is when I play the game, this build feels miles faster than Tailwind with the Torrent's Reclamation Belt, which should be about 30% action speed. So we spent a lot of money on our gear today, so I can't wait to do the gear overview. And then after the gear overview, I wanted to talk quickly about how to upgrade your ES and how to exactly spend your currency if you get like 50, 60 exalts randomly from like a drop or something, or you just sell an item, or you're just swapping builds, how to spend the money effectively, and where to get the most damage from what upgrades you can possibly buy. So let's get first into the gear overview and then we'll talk about that. So basically, we made a lot of changes in our gear. Like, let's see, Nebulous. Okay, every time I start off with Nebulous, it's still exactly the same. It's the exact same Nebulous. I might divide it a few times, but we'll see. The same Call of the Brotherhood. This Call of the Brotherhood is pretty much irreplaceable. Same helm. I don't really know what to do about this helm. I want to get a Hubris because I'm not really activating the exposure. But we'll have to see. We'll have to craft a new helm. Although the helm is extremely easy to craft, so I should just suck it up, use my Ailment Exalts on it, and craft it. Crafting this league is pretty strange. It's a lot more chill in that you don't need to actually access TFT anymore. It is super annoying having to buy crafts from people and using the Discord. And it's kind of nice being able to farm the Ailment Exalts yourself and then slowly do your own item, and also being able to buy or use your own crafts and just meta mod the item with prefixes and suffixes cannot be changed. But here we have the amulet. This amulet, I actually crafted a new one. This is the new one, so I'm going to try to craft on increased effect. So the reason why I wanted to craft the amulet is because you can see here that this amulet has an open prefix. So for this amulet, I want to use an Ailment Exalt so that I can either get increased effect of non-damaging ailments, or I can get the prefix of projectile speed, projectile damage, and then I'll craft whatever else is remaining. So for instance, right now, I actually used an Ailment Exalt to try to get a suffix, but you can see here the suffix I got was lightning and chaos resist, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, ideally, you would get the increased effect of non-damaging ailments because all of the Ailment unveils are just T0 modifiers of the crafted mod that you have. So you would either get the increased effect and then you would craft on projectile speed, projectile damage. So here you could just craft on, I don't know if I have to craft, but yeah, I have to craft, I think. Projectile speed, projectile damage. So you do that. But then you would have to have the Ailment hit the increased effect. So I'm going to try to play with this amulet a little bit before swapping over. I'm going to try to re-craft this one to try to get the Ailment mod to hit either the increased effect or projectile speed. We have this gray shield. I get asked how much I bought the shield for. I bought it for 14 exalts. You might be able to snipe it because a lot of people don't really know why grace even matters. Like, so if someone corrupts a Prism Guardian for fun and they just throw it up on the market for cheap, then you could probably get it relatively affordable because they don't really know the value of a grace shield. And Winter Weave, I might start corrupting it. It's getting like a little cheaper. Let's see how much it is. It's 1 Exalt still. So I could throw a few Vol Orbs on a few, like buy 10 of them, corrupt it, see if we get anything. Now these boots, I ran lab a few times and I got increased mana regen if you cast a spell recently. Now this enchant's actually pretty OP because a lot of times if you have low mana, you can't really cast your spell. So if you see here, I have 125 mana regen per second. When I start casting, it goes to 192, and it makes a big difference in dead casting. Without the boots, I was having like a little stutter every now and then, and I wouldn't be able to cast fully. So Malangar's Restraint, I actually swapped to more ES, so I ran a Discipline Aura effect. Because at a certain point, I was just like kind of being too much crazy about move speed, and it's always nice to have a good balance in your character. And this one is the same. So let's get to the cluster jewels. I bought some cluster jewels today. So I'm trying to swap out these first among equals and replenish and purposeful harbingers to be replenishing and purposeful harbinger. The reason being is because the regen on our build is actually kind of bad. So you can see our regen is only 736, and last league it was like 1000. Part of it is not having a marble amulet currently. And another reason is because vitality got nerfed. So try to swap this other one over to replenishing presence and purposeful harbinger. And here I bought another one of these jewels with 35% effect ES. This one's 35% effect ES. This one is first among 35. Eventually I'll probably do a 35% effect ES too on it. Although the annoying part is that smite is lasting shorter and shorter duration, but you can smite every like 6-7 seconds, and you only need it for boss fights, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. Now this one's 35% effect T3 ES, but it has regen, so it's pretty strong. So I think getting life regen on Aug life is actually pretty good once our chaos res is sorted out. So here we have 35% effect ES, and we can Aug chaos or Aug life to get more regen. So my chaos res is negative 21%, so I would probably want to Aug chaos to try to get more chaos resist. So you can see the end goal here is to try to get ES on the jewel with 35%, and that's how you fix your ES pool. Because otherwise, it's pretty hard. Another way that you could try to approach it is instead of using these jewels, you use 4 passive, like these old school ones, and then try to take ES on the tree. And that might work out, but I don't know if you will have the 300% aura effect that easily. Although you can always use a Glorious Vanity. It's kind of early in the league. I haven't really explored Glorious Vanity, but it could be a possible solution to use. I also got this jewel here. Now, phasing is extremely important. I don't know why I didn't get this earlier, but phasing will save your life, especially when it's on like a narrow corridor map like Necropolis. So getting phasing anywhere in your build is almost mandatory, I think, if you want to level up and just have the game feel better. Like getting stuck behind a mob is honestly one of the worst feelings. So ideally you want to get phasing, energy shield, multi, and fire damage to spells, but I just got fire damage to spells because I had no way to proc my Cinder Swallow. So this is actually not a bad jewel to have. Obviously I would want energy shield, but they just don't exist at the moment. So everything else I think is the same. I didn't really change anything else, but that's basically the gear overview. You can see that there's a lot of changes I made. And there's also some other stuff here, like Awaken Spell Echo, a +2. Oh, I got a +2 Shabs. I forgot about that. I sold my old one, and now I have additional physical damage reduction while stationary, so I'm 50%. So moving around. So when you're casting Spark, you get more physical damage reduction, which is pretty nice. It's better than nothing, and it's a kind of a well-rolled Shav, so I'm fine with this. And basically, that's pretty much about it for the character. The character is getting really strong. I could see myself breaking 5k ES once I get a Clarity Watcher's Eye and a few more levels to put into ES, or trying to get a +6 high ends of the High Templar for a level 30 discipline. So we'll see how it goes from here, but generally very happy with the progress, and I can't wait to hit 100 on this guy. Now I wanted to talk about how do you actually like afford upgrades, or what pieces you buy, because a lot of people have like 60-70 exalts, right? Or they have like 30 exalts, and they're wondering what should I spend the money on. So some of the main things you could buy is you try to get as much percent damage in your build as possible. So if you're lacking ES or you feel like your chaos res is bad, then your best choice is to buy the medium clusters with 35% effect ES and get chaos res on it with all chaos. That run you around like 8 to 10x or so. Now, if you're missing damage, some of the good things that you can buy is Awakened Spell Echo is pretty good for a 15x, 17x investment. You get 10% more damage. +2 Shavs is the same kind of ordeal. Like it's like 25x, but you can sell off your old 6-link for 7x. So it's like 18x, and 2 levels on the skill gem is probably around like 15 to 20% damage. So +2 Shavs is usually one of the first pieces of gear I would try to upgrade. Gem levels are extremely important. Same goes for Spark. If you're using Anomalous Spark, getting a level 21 Spark, 1 gem level for like 5x is an extremely efficient upgrade. And Hands of the High Templar are pretty good, like especially if you can snipe. So a lot of like upgrading your gear comes down to having the live searches ready, and this is where it comes in handy. So if I go here, I have Hands of the High Templar for search, right? So these are like +4 hands. So yeah, this is 70x. So +1, +2, +2. Plus this one's pretty good. Ally weakness, 100 exalts. Now these ones you could probably almost never snipe because they're just too expensive. But if you do the 3 ones, so this is how you do it. You do count 3. Oh wait, I'm not showing this, but basically here you see these are, you count 3 of the modifiers. So you have aura, AoE, gems, duration, ally weakness, crit chance, and these are the main important ones. So count 3 means that 3 of these mods will show up. So here we have +1, +2 spell crit. So a lot of people don't really know like how good their Hands of the High Templars are. Ideally, what you want in the beginning is like a +2, +2 ally weakness, because +2 is extremely important because it gives us ES. Because you can see here, my discipline is level 28, right? So without empower, my ES goes down by like a large chunk. So if I wasn't running Hands of the High Templar, I would probably lose around an insane amount of ES. So we can test this out by just moving the discipline out of the Hands of the High Templar. So without Hands of the High Templar, we just lost 600 ES. That's an insane amount of energy shield to lose. So that's why when people say Malagaros are like better than Hands of the High Templar, it's oftentimes just flat out wrong for the defense, because their argument is that they can get % ES and RMR jewels. But if you just invest like 10x or so into a Hands of the High Templar with like +4, or even if it went with +6, if you had a +6, you get this to 30, you'll gain like 800 ES at the top end with an Empower in the setup. And that's why Hands of the High Templar is an extremely good upgrade for ES. Not only that, it has 73 ES on the hands. And the same goes for the helm. The helm is another good piece of upgrade. This helm is probably only costs around 10x to make. It gives you multi 10 to 15x depending on the Maven orbs. Actually, a helm is probably a little more, 15-ish, because you don't need a Maven orb to crit multi. So this helm, if you make it on a Hubris, you can probably have like 200 ES pretty easily. And that's how you survive or make changes, right? So before you buy the cluster jewels, you should probably try to make the helm and then buy a Hands of the High Templar. And that would probably be the most efficient use of your money. But either of those methods are pretty good. Now, like inefficient spending of money for your build would be like buying a Divergent Vol Haste, right? A Divergent Vol Haste is like 30x. A Divergent Period of Ice is probably extremely expensive. A lot of times, buying the alt quality gems like Anomalous Wrath for 5% effect for like 6 exalts is just not what you should do at the start. That's what you should do when you're trying to min-max the build and not like just getting started off. So let's see here. So Call of the Brotherhood is another interesting proposition. You're trying to get an aura, right? So this one is oh wait, 37 exalts. But you get the gray shield here. It's exactly the same. It's like 20x, so you could probably haggle it down a little bit. So buying a gray shield is a much better option if you're trying to get an aura slot. But if you're really trying to get an aura slot for cheap, you would actually want to upgrade your amulet, because you can get vitality and and RMR on it. So we can look right here real fast how you search it. So you do reservation of skills and vitality aura. So this is the cheapest way for you to get a gem slot. So it's like 120 chaos, 2.5x or so. So you can see this is extremely good for trying to, trying to get the gem slot you need in order to play Spark, because Spark actually needs that extra gem slot. So those are the upgrades that you should try to be looking at. You should be trying to find the most efficient way to upgrade your ES, your gem slot situation, or your damage. Damage wise, nothing will beat getting the level of gems, Awaken Spell Echo. Double damage scepter I think is kind of getting expensive, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But Hands of the High Templar are a huge deal. Hands of the High Templar with Power Smite is absolutely insane. I just wanted to show you off real fast how much Smite actually adds to the damage, because it's just baffling to me how much damage this one ability can do. So I'm going to demonstrate it here real fast. If it ever loads, the game has been pretty bad lately. So 264,000 damage, right? So I'm going to just do Smite once. And it goes to 519k. So just smiting doubles your damage. And that's just how much Hands of the High Templar matters. Now, if Hands of the High Templar weren't supporting Smite, for instance, and we put Smite in here, so let's do it without the Hands of the High Templar. 264k. Smite is only level 20 now. So we Smite again, and it's only 430k. So it's an insane damage upgrade of like, what's that, like 20-30% already just from using Hands of the High Templar. So Hands of the High Templar should be something everyone looks into early on, along with the Helm, and I can't stress it enough. But that's if you don't want the Explode Gloves. Explode Gloves, I play without it and with it. It's like good and all, but in the end, people want a more balanced character with ES, and it's extremely expensive to get +2/+2 on Explode. I highly recommend Hands of the High Templar and to try to gear your character around crit multi. But anyhow, that's enough about upgrading, and I just wanted to go into some clips today that I just want to show the damage off of the self-chill build, because a lot of people make fun of it because it's not all converted. Just want to show this A9 Awakener I did after upgrading all of the gear, and it was a lot better experience. So you can see how the damage has improved overall, and I hope this has helped you out with upgrading your character.
Everlasting fire. Is die.
Well, someone got one. Diana won finally. So I hope you had fun watching the clip of the Awakener kill. It was actually one of my fastest kills yet this league, so it really shows you the potential of self-chill Aura Stacker. You can also increase the damage a lot if you just drop faster proj and use elemental penetration on Awakener, and I'm pretty sure it would kill it just as fast as my previous builds have. I was actually just watching the video, right, and I didn't realize that Awaken Control Destruction to sell, and then I tried to look up the price of the Awaken Control Destruction. It actually turns out that this gem is pretty expensive, so I pretty much just found 4.5 Exalts. But anyhow, I hope that has helped everyone out with upgrade paths and to see how I actually got myself to 4.6k ES. My goal is to try to get 5k ES and to actually try to level to 100 without abusing 5-ways or Chayula rotations. It should be pretty fun. And on the currency situation, the Harbinger Watchstone is definitely worth it. The main problem I experienced though is that I just can't seem to sustain Canyon. Canyon is like, it's impossible to draw. My Atlas bonus is too high. I just keep getting tolls. Just want to see how want you guys to see how troll it is. Like, look at this. I have 28 maze maps, 30 necropolis maps. All I want is Canyon, and I have 3 Canyon maps. So if anyone knows how to just get more Canyons or what I can possibly do, try to leave a comment to help me out, because I would much appreciate the help. But anyhow, that's going to be it for my video. So if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe, and come check out my Twitch stream. I stream every day. You can ask me about pop or just talk about PoE, or show me an item that you want me to price check, and it'll all be fine. So anyhow, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next video, and thanks for watching, and hope you find more mirrors and exalts than I do.